Welcome, friends. You're watching The Tranquilizing Historian. I'm so glad you're here. Before we begin today's quiet journey through the past, I invite you to take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who enjoys calm storytelling, and subscribe to the channel so you can join me again for future historical explorations. I'd also love to know, what's your favourite part of history that you'd like to see covered next? And where in the world are you watching or listening from? Drop a comment below. I truly enjoy reading where everyone is tuning in from. Now, let's dim the lights, take a deep breath, and step softly into his story. You arrive, not with haste, but with a quiet, easy step, drawn by the soft breath of the bellows, the earthy warmth of coal and ash, and the deep silence of old wood. Imagine now a dirt path beneath your feet, packed down over years of quiet labour, the gentle crunch of boots on gravel and soil, birdsong distant, wind soft in the trees. To your left, a weathered fence, posts hand-hewn, leaning just so. Beyond it, rows of corn, bent gently by the breeze. To your right, the outline of the forge appears. It is not a grand building, nor elegant, nor proud, but sturdy, settled, like a hand long folded in prayer. Thick, timbered walls, darkened by smoke, touched by time, a single window, dusty glass, a wide door, slightly ajar, inviting you inward. You cross the threshold and are met by a warmth, not hot nor stifling, but deep, a warmth that seeps into the bones, kind, familiar. The scent hits you next. Coal smoke, iron, old leather, and something more, something ancient, the scent of work, and time. The room is dim, only the glow of coals gives light, soft orange, flickering like candlelight on stone. Shadows stretch and move, like ghosts at rest. The air is alive, not loud, not sharp, but filled with a gentle hum. The bellows move slowly, feeding the hearth with breath. As your eyes adjust, the shapes begin to emerge. To your left, the forge itself, stone and brick, blackened by years. The fire burns low, coals glowing softly. A curved iron poker leans nearby, its end kissed with soot. Directly ahead, the anvil, solid, quiet, eternal, its surface worn, its horn rising like the crescent of a sleeping moon. To the side, racks of tools, hammers, tongs, chisels, each hanging with care. No disorder here, only quiet readiness. The floor is packed earth, swept but never spotless. Ash clings here and there like soft snowflakes that refuse to melt. Even in stillness, there is sound. The tick of expanding metal, the hush of air through roof beams, the whisper of cinders settling in the hearth. Now and then, the soft click of a chain on the bellows arm as it lowers and lifts again. A slow exhale, a breath, like the forge itself is sleeping. No words are needed here, only presence, only breath and flame. In the corner, a low bench, tools laid out with care, handles worn smooth by use, files lined like pencils, a small box of nails, some bent, some whole. A piece of iron rests on the bench, half formed, its journey paused. Perhaps it will become a hook, or the blade of a hoe, or a part of a wheel. Each piece of metal in this place has a story, not dramatic, not famous, but steady. Stories of holding things together, of keeping things running, of usefulness. Light filters through the dusty glass window, not strong, not bold, but tender, filtered, as if it too is waking slowly. It falls across the forge stones, catching tiny particles in the air. A dance of dust, shimmering, then vanishing. Shadows from the rafters stretch long, touching the handle of the sledgehammer, brushing the edge of the quenching barrel. Everything in here has a softness to it. No harsh edges, no glare, only the quiet patience of tools waiting to be used. Though he is not yet here, you feel him. His apron hangs on a wooden peg, worn leather, cracked, oiled by years of use. A glove rests on the bench, one finger curled slightly inward, as if waving to you, or bidding you to wait. This is not an abandoned place. It is simply resting. And in that rest, there is peace, there is rhythm, there is silence, the kind that wraps around you and lets you be. You stand still now, breathing in the warmth, letting your eyes wander, letting your thoughts slow. You listen to nothing in particular and everything at once. The forge does not rush, the tools do not call, and so neither do you. You are here, in this quiet space, with the glow of the coals, the soft song of time. Let it wash over you, like a blanket pulled to your chin, like a fire warming your feet. We'll return soon, to walk the racks of tongs, to study the face of the anvil, and to feel the steady rhythm of a blacksmith at work. But for now, be still and let the quiet forge carry you deeper into rest. There is something sacred about the anvil, not in the way of temples or books, but in the rhythm of usefulness and patience. The anvil does not rise suddenly from the earth. It sits, heavy, settled, like stone. It is not simply a block of metal, but a tool of quiet complexity, a face polished by countless strikes, smooth in places, scarred in others, each mark a memory. A horn gently curved, not unlike a crescent moon, made for bending and shaping. And at the far edge, the hardy hole and the pritchel, square and round, for holding, punching, assisting, not demanding. Its feet, 4 of them, stout, sturdy. They do not move. They do not speak. They hold steady no matter the force. There's a strange gentleness to the iron of the anvil. Though it rings when struck, it does not complain. Though it bears heat and hammer, it does not flinch. It knows its place, not beneath, not above, but at the centre, where change happens. You can almost imagine, if it could speak, it would say little, perhaps only, again, or just here. Let your eyes trace the surface, not perfectly smooth, but gently polished. This is where steel is born again, where it learns its shape, where it finds its purpose. No 2 anvils are identical. Each bears the imprint of the hands that have used it. You see fine scratches, a nick here, a dent there, each one an echo of a project long finished, a hinge for a barn door, a buckle for a saddle. This is a face that has seen everything, but does not boast. If you listen closely, you can still hear it. Not loudly, but quietly, as if in memory. The ring of hammer on steel, sharp at first, then mellowing, the way sound travels, down into the anvil, and back up into the hand. It is not noise, but music, measured, slow, each note struck with purpose, not to entertain, but to inform, to shape, to remind the metal of its new destiny. He approaches it, not like a warrior, but like a friend. His hand rests briefly on its horn, just a touch, as if greeting an old companion. He knows its temperament, the way it echoes when the weather changes, how the heat of summer makes its song just a little softer. They work together, the blacksmith and the anvil, not with fire alone, but with memory, with rhythm, a dance of steel and sweat, a silent understanding. Move your gaze to the horn. It is not sharp, nor threatening. It is used for curves, for gentling the metal. Around it, the bar of iron can bend, softly, slowly, like a reed in the wind. Next to it, a square hole, the hardy hole. Tools are placed here, each one fitting just so. And beside that, the small round opening, the pritchel, used for punching holes, for creating passage. Even in solid iron, the blacksmith can create space. The forge is quiet again now. The anvil, though unused, does not sleep. It waits. In its stillness, it remains alive. Like a kettle after it's boiled, or a violin just after the bow has lifted. There is warmth still, a hum beneath the silence. You sit beside it now, close enough to feel its heat, but far enough to simply observe. In the hush of the forge after sundown, the anvil takes on a different presence. The moonlight filters in, brushing its side with silver. The fire is out, the bellows still, and yet the anvil holds the memory of work done. You imagine all the pieces that were formed here. A latch that now holds a cottage door, a plough blade that cut last season's soil, a weather vane spinning quietly above a barn. All of them touched by this single block of steel, all of them born here. In the next chapter, we'll trace the wall of tongs and hammers and learn their roles in this quiet art. But for now, let the weight of the anvil settle you into the earth. Let its silence hold you, gently, completely, until you, too, become still. Tools do not speak, but they remember. Each tong, each hammer, bears the subtle memory of the hands that held them, and the iron they have shaped. Along the wooden wall they hang, tongs of every kind, long-handled and fire-darkened, some curved at the tips, some flat and broad, others narrow, delicate, each one suited for a particular job, their handles worn smooth, not from age alone, but from years of being trusted. They do not call attention to themselves. They simply wait. Imagine the blacksmith's hand, reaching up, selecting one without hesitation. It is not guesswork, but familiarity. A bar of red-hot iron, removed from the fire, needs a secure grip, not too tight, not too loose. The blacksmith does not look closely. He feels. He knows which tong can hold round stock, which one grips flat bar, which can turn a nail without slipping. Each tong, like a finger, extending the hand safely into the fire. There are flat jaw tongs, simple, for flat metal, box jaw tongs, to hold square stock securely, bolt tongs, with curved jaws, cradling round pieces, wolf jaw tongs, versatile with serrated teeth, gripping firmly. Some are long and narrow, like tweezers for thick iron. Others, short and stout, for control over small heated pieces. None are ornate, none are named, yet all are known. Beneath the tongs rest the hammers, some large, some small, each shaped by necessity. The rounding hammer, with one flat face and one curved. The cross peen, with a wedge set crosswise, for drawing metal out sideways. The straight peen, for shaping with precision. The ball peen, with its dome end, used for gentle spreading. Each one rings differently. Each one teaches the metal something new. To choose a hammer is to choose a tone of voice. Larger ones speak with authority, smaller ones whisper. The blacksmith's grip, light but firm, guides the conversation. The angle, the swing, the pause between strikes. This is not brute force, but persuasion, like coaxing a melody from an old instrument. Look closely at the surface of the hammer's face, not polished, but worn. The slight discoloration, the edges just a little softened. This is what time does, not to destroy, but to refine. On the handle, the wood has darkened, where sweat and heat have passed 1,000 times. The grain of the handle might still bear a thumbprint. If you closed your eyes, you could find it. When the forge is quiet, the tools do not lament. They hang, suspended in dusk. The tongs hold nothing, but the air. The hammers lie flat, no longer in flight, but even now they remember their roles. Tomorrow, they will strike again, hold again. But for now, they simply rest. These tools are not treasures. They are not kept in velvet cases. They are used daily, repeatedly, and lovingly. They do not shine for admiration, but for function. And yet, in their quietness, they carry dignity, because they are not only tools, they are the memory of labour. In the next chapter, we turn our attention to the blacksmith's most humble triumphs, not swords, not armour, but hinges and hoes and things that make daily life work. There is poetry in the ordinary, not the kind recited in courtrooms or carved in marble, but the quiet kind, made of hinges and handles, of latches and nails, things you touch every day and seldom think about, but each one was shaped by a hand, by heat, and by quiet intention. Let us begin with the hook, simple in form, but endlessly useful. An iron hook may hold a lantern near the hearth, or a bucket beside the well. It might secure a door from wind, or hang a coat at day's end. The hook begins as a straight bar, glowing orange in the forge. The blacksmith grips it gently, lays it to the horn of the anvil, and with slow, careful strikes, he curves it, not quickly, not forcefully, but with an awareness of what it must hold. Its curve is not decoration. It is function. Each tap of the hammer teaches it to bend. Just so. Now, look to the door. It opens, and it closes, 100 times each week, without thought, without thanks. But listen, just behind the wood, there is a sigh. The iron hinge holds it steady, swings it open, and welcomes it home. The making of a hinge is not a swift process. It begins as a flat plate, which the blacksmith cuts, punches, and bends. It must align perfectly, to pivot smoothly. Too loose, and it wobbles. Too tight, and it binds. And so he works slowly, not just shaping metal, but shaping movement. A movement that may last for decades, with no complaint. Beyond the village, where the houses thin, lies the field, and in that field, the hoe. Its head not polished, nor ornamental, but shaped with care. The hoe begins as a solid square bar, red-hot and heavy. It is spread, flattened, thinned with long, rhythmic blows. The eye for the handle is punched with force, and the blade is curved slightly in to bite the soil. This is not a weapon, but a promise of planted rows, of seed and root, of quiet labour and harvest. The blacksmith never sees the crops, but he is there, in every furrow. Much of a blacksmith's work is not in making new things, but in restoring, in mending. A broken hinge from a barn door, twisted by storm, a snapped plough clevis, cracked with age, a chain link pulled too hard. He does not toss them away. He heats them, straightens them, gives them a second life. Nothing is wasted, not even a bent nail. It is straightened on the anvil's edge and driven again into wood that remembers. Inside the cottage, his work continues. A shutter latch, keeping the wind at bay. A fireplace trammel, lifting the kettle just above the flame. A wall hook for drying herbs, or a simple iron nail, holding a child's straw hat, all unseen, all indispensable, They are not conversation pieces, but they allow life to move quietly. And then there are the nails. So many, of so many kinds, each one forged individually, square shafts, tapered ends, not rolled or machine-made, but hammered by hand. The blacksmith grips a rod with his tongs, cuts a short length, places it in a nail header, strikes, rotates, strikes again, and with one final blow forms the head. That nail may never be seen, but it may hold the roof above someone's head for a lifetime, or fasten the cradle where a baby sleeps. It does not shine, but it holds. The tools and fittings of the blacksmith do not seek attention. They serve, without praise, without spectacle. They are present in the swing of a gate, in the steadiness of a wagon wheel, in the quiet turn of a lock. They speak, not in words, but in the way they make life easier. By evening, the hooks are cooled, the hinges quenched. A handful of nails rest in a wooden box. A hoe blade lies wrapped in cloth, awaiting its handle. The blacksmith wipes his brow, not in exhaustion, but in quiet satisfaction. Another day of shaping what is small, but essential as night settles. His work settles with it, unseen, but ever present. In our next chapter, we visit the fire again and learn how the forge breathes, how the bellows lift and fall and give flame its life. The fire does not roar. It breathes, it waits, not wild, not hungry, but steady, patient, and beside it, the bellows, not loud, not fast, but rhythmic. It does not burn, but it feeds the burn. It does not glow, but it gives glow to the coals. It hangs like a sleeping animal, leather stretched between two wide wooden arms. The wood is worn smooth, edges softened by the press of countless hands. It opens, slowly, and then presses closed again. Each breath, carefully timed. Too fast, and the coals scatter. Too weak, and the flame dies. The blacksmith does not slam the bellows. He lifts it gently, then lowers it, with care. A stream of air enters the heart of the fire. It curls through the coals, stirs them to brightness. A dull red turns to bright orange. Ash shifts. Sparks dance upward. It is not chaos. It is awakening. If the forge is the brain, the anvil its hands, then the bellows is its lungs. It remembers how to breathe, slowly, regularly, endlessly. Even when the blacksmith turns away, the bellows hangs there, waiting, as if asleep, but ready. It does not whistle or groan. It speaks in the quietest tones. A long inhale, then the hush of breath pushed outward, the whisper of air beneath flame, the sigh of heat. There are no sparks without air, no glow without breath, and the bellows gives just enough. The blacksmith learns to read the fire. He knows when the coals need breath, when the metal grows too cool or burns too fast. He listens to the hiss of iron entering flame. He feels the heat against his cheek and lifts the bellows as gently as one might lift a sleeping child. It is not force, but cooperation. This is not the fire of destruction. It is the fire of shaping, of building. Controlled, measured, calm. A forge is not a blaze. It is a conversation between flame and metal, between tool and task. The bellows is the quiet voice that keeps it going. The bellows, like all things, wears with time. Its leather stiffens, its seams stretch, and so it too is repaired, with patches, with oil, with string, not replaced, but maintained, because it is known, trusted. It has served for years, and with care will serve for years more. As the day ends, the bellows slows, its breath becomes shallower. The coals cool, their colour fading, from orange to red to soft grey, and the bellows is still again, not empty, but at rest, its work done. For now, in the next chapter, we turn to the water bucket, the trough, the hiss of iron made whole. We speak of quenching and cooling all things. Cool. Even fire, even effort, even the bright red glow of shaped iron. At the end, there is water, and in that water, a soft sizzle, a sigh. Near the forge, always, stands a barrel. It holds water, not cold, but cool enough to calm. Its sides worn smooth, darkened by years of quiet service. The surface ripples, from time, from wind, or from a glowing rod dipped gently beneath. This is not a violent act. It is cleansing. The iron is shaped, drawn out, curved, folded, and now it must be made still. The blacksmith lifts it, glowing like the sun, humming with internal heat, and he lowers it, slowly, into the water. The sound, a hiss, a breath, then silence. The steam rises, soft and white, like a spirit leaving the metal. A skilled smith reads heat by colour. A bright yellow means high heat, orange for shaping, red for smoothing. But the most delicate moment is the moment before quench, too hot, and the iron may crack, too cool, and it will resist. So he waits, watching, trusting, and then he quenches. Not everything is quenched. Some pieces are left, to cool in air, allowed to rest, to slowly release their tension on the workbench. They sit, still warm to the touch, faintly ticking as they shrink. Cooling is part of shaping. Without it, the form is never finished, and now the hook is cool. Its form is final. The hinge swings freely. The head of the hoe glows no longer. It lies on a cloth, steam fading, shape remembered. It is ready. It does not need praise. It simply exists with the last quench. The forge seems to exhale. The bellows no longer moves. The fire dims to ash. The air, once rich with heat and smoke, now smells of water and iron. The forge is cooling, just as the tools and the smith. Cooling is not an ending. It is a return to stillness, to readiness. The iron is no longer molten, but it is not finished. It has purpose now. Tomorrow it may be lifted and used, but for tonight it simply rests. And now the day ends. In our final chapter, we will remain in this place of rest, a forge at night, tools sleeping, and the world slowing down. Even the hardest work must come to stillness. And so the forge sleeps, its fire now cooled, its tools resting in place, its walls darkened, silent. The sun has long dipped below the trees. Its light lingers, only in memory. Inside, the forge glows faintly, a single lantern casting golden warmth. Everything is in its place. Nothing moves. The hammers lie on the bench, their faces turned toward the ceiling. Tongs hang from their pegs, like limbs at ease. The anvil bears no heat now. Its surface is quiet, its horn pale in lantern light, the bellows folded like wings. In the corner hangs the blacksmith's apron, leather, darkened by soot and oil. It still holds the shape of his work, its folds. Remember the way he moved, but now it is still. The forge is not dead. It is resting, like a great quiet animal. It breathes slower. Its limbs, the bellows, the hammer, the tongs, are folded. Its eyes, the coals, are closed, but it dreams of iron shaped, of sparks flying, of the rhythm of work. If you listen closely, you can almost hear it, not the clang of hammer, but the memory of it, as if echoing gently through time. The forge remembers, and so do you. The lantern is dim now, its oil nearly gone. The shadows stretch longer. The room is still. Only the wind through the cracks in the wall. Only the stars watching through the window. And you, breathing slow. Eyes closed, tools rest. Fire cools, work waits, and you are allowed to sleep. Tomorrow may come, with hammer and heat, but for now, be still. Let the forge rest, and let yourself drift. Thank you for being here. We leave now. But the forge remains, quiet, steady, and at peace.